Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 36 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings and Cardboard Podcast. I'm your host, Donnie, joined by my buddies / co-hosts, Noah and Thomas. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we are all Siblings in Cardboard. Gentlemen, how have things been since the last time we talked? It's been a long time since I've seen you, Noah.
Yeah, no, I'm actually alive, believe it or not. A little tired. I'm back working really fun hours at a at van rental company. I'm actually on location. Normally, I'm sitting here at home doing simple things, some marketing and some sales, and having a good time. But no, the location's going through a bit of turbulence.
Hmm.
I was trying to give them a hand, but long hours. What are you gonna do? We're getting there. I'll be in California, so you guys will see me in my other room for a little bit. They go out and move some stuff for a new job. So not a lot of flesh and blood for me. A little bit of real life. I've still been watching the market though. I always like to. Always trying to see what's going around, going up, what's going down. So I've got some good stuff from that, but no games being played. I haven't even like had a Talishar game. I come home, I shower, I go to bed, I wake up and I do it again. So
I've lived that life.
I feel like I got that life coming. I was telling you before we started recording, class, the whole last month was just brutal on me. And then looking at the workload that I got this month, I actually took a break long enough to go upstairs and tell my wife, memorize my face because you may not be seeing much of it this month. It's gonna be bad. I mean, I may not make it out to any armories, and there's a distinct possibility I don't get to the pre-releases, and that's
hey,
kind of got me in my feelings. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
save
very
some
much looking
packs
forward
for
to this
you.
set.
I'll save some pre-release packs for you. I'll figure it out. I'll say buy my boy a spot and let me get his packs. I'll hand deliver them.
You know,
We
when I
can't
did
let you
that for
go
my
without
brother,
it.
I did that for my brother for Outsiders because he wasn't able to make the pre-release, but we pre-registered for it. I brought his packs home, and I cracked a plague hive out of those packs. So
I got you.
let's do that.
Karma.
I got you. Don't worry.
You're doing
I
your good
got
deed
you.
and you get rewarded. I actually did play Flesh and Blood in the paper. I've been pretty busy too. I'm teaching in the evening, so I don't get to play during the week, but I get to do the Friday Armory. But I went to ProQuest in South Carolina. It's like a 2.5 hour drive for me, so it wasn't too bad. I've got an audiobook I'm obsessed with anyway. And so just been knocking that out. And there was a couple other fellow ATL siblings there, and they picked up the win. Cristiano on Prism
Heck yeah.
picked up a win PQ. It came down to a Kayo versus Prism matchup. The Kayo is the same Kayo that I played at an RTN in Macon. That I creamed on camera on Reinar, and I don't think it ever got published. But that's how we recognized each other. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy who high rolled me on Reinar." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." I don't know what was up with that deck on that day, but it was just flattening people. It's not even supposed to really do that. It was like a value Reinar deck, and I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'll do 30 damage and intimidate 3 cards. Sure. I went 3-2. It was only 5 rounds. What was funny is that the 2 people I lost to were Cristiano and Josh. So there's the 2 people in the finals that I lost to. So, but unfortunately, I lost my second round to Cristiano. And so losing round 2 meant that I wasn't viable for top 8 unless I won out or if I would have lost my last round, I might have gotten in. I did break the curse though. I participated in an event with Cristiano, and I didn't face him in round 1. I faced him in round 2 instead. So 4 in a row, I faced him in round 1, and then 5th event with him, I faced him in round 2. We really like playing games with each other. Yeah. But congrats to him. He has been grinding Prism for a while now, even a little bit before it started to really pick up in popularity and hate, I guess, too. So he's been getting some results, and I think he's going to go to Amsterdam. So I'm going to root for him.
Yeah,
I'm excited. We got people to root for it from the ATL area.
I mean, if the card guys are there, we always have people to root for.
Yeah, I know Sebastian,
just
Will,
great guys.
and Sebastian, Will, and Cristiano will be there. So
Nice. That's
for
awesome.
sure.
Definitely good to
Works for
have
me.
local ATL on the board.
I really like the card shop too. It was clearly like an old machine shop or like storage garage that they just like repurposed and turned into a card store, and it kind of inspired me. It's like I want to start my own card shop. If I can make this really great card shop just in an old machine shop where I ripped all the equipment out of and just put some tables and cards in it.
We probably a lot of space. You know, what I mean, old machines. Yeah. Big machines.
It's
take 'em
one
away.
big room with a little
Yeah,
section
one
off for
big
the
room.
bathroom and the office. Like,
That's
and then
all
like
you need.
they kind of partitioned it off with like a huge walled shelf for all their singles that they go into. And they
I like
kind of
that.
like optimized their space. Instead of having like their usual display with the cards out, they had this like rotating display so that they could have extra shelves in their display. It was cool. I really liked it. I
That's a
enjoyed
good
it.
way of saving space.
It's called like Corner Magic Gaming Store.
Neat. Shout out to them, I guess.
Yeah. It was fun. They were great hosts. It was fast too, dude. We broke the top 8 at like 6 and we started at 2.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5
we were
rounds. That's
zooming.
pretty
I
good,
was
yeah.
so worried about starting at 2. I'm like, I'm gonna be getting home at like 1 in the morning, even if I don't get the top 8. Like, and I managed to stay and watch the entire top 8 and still got home before midnight.
Yeah.
Did Cristiano crack the gold foil, or is he?
He did. He got a Goliath
it?
Gauntlet, which was exciting
Oh,
because he actually
nice.
plays Goliath Gauntlet in his deck, right?
God, that's a
Awesome.
good hit.
Yeah.
Of all
That's
the
a
hits,
spicy one.
right? No best
That's a
of the
good
first
common.
fist here. That's really
It's pretty timeless. Like, you don't play it in Brute anymore because you've got Apex, and then you also have the new one if you're trying to use something more budget friendly that came out of the pre-con deck. We're going to talk about Kayo, but yeah,
budget friendly.
Yeah, real.
I don't know if that's the right
budget-friendly.
word. I don't know if that's the right phrase.
if you're just getting into KO, it's budget friendly.
I mean,
you spend $40 once, it's fine.
We'll get there.
And
we'll
you're
get
gonna
there.
get there, and I'm gonna give you a rebuttal, but
You do it.
We'll
you
do
do
it
it
at
because
the-
I was looking.
at the end of the market, because I know there's tons of people on Facebook who are like, don't buy it off TCG Player. Literally message me and I'll ship you one for MSRP. Like, there are tons of stores who are not doing that to people.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I was reading a lot of stuff apparently.
Don't
about
give
the
in. Don't buy it off TCG Player unless you literally have no other way of getting it, because you're getting sharked.
Well, let's go ahead and kick it off then. I'll start with Savage Sash, which is the chess piece out of the Armory deck KO. It is a brute equipment chest. Action, destroy this. Attack action cards with 6 or more power cost 1 less to play this turn. It has go again. It's temper 2. So it's
Blood Rush
pretty
Bellow
bonkers.
number 4.
It's pretty crazy. So they were selling for upwards of $60, and they are now sitting at $45 if you just want the chess piece. But which we'll talk about the $40 MSRP, which is great. I mean, if it's 6 there and you can buy it from LGS, I had to note it because at first I was like, "What the heck's going on?" Like it's almost like round the table, but not really. Like there's some other.
It's close because it's like Civic Steps was pretty pricey when Round the Table first came out.
I won't list all the cards, but I'll tell you this: if you bought the deck for $40, you sold the chest for $45, and you sold the rainbow foils for $15, because that's what they're selling for. The rainbow foils of Ramrub Shed and strengthen. What's it?
Strength Resolve.
Strength Resolves. They're selling for $15 a piece on the rainbow foils, and they're $5 a piece for the normals. So right there, you literally have almost twice the amount of the Armory deck, and then you could just, I don't know, do whatever you want with the rest of it.
I can see an argument
give it
for
to a new
buying
player.
the rainbow foils, but not for 15. Maybe you buy them for 8, so that you buy 4 of them and you spend $32, which is less than.
Things are crazy.
I mean,
I don't know.
as long as it comes out to less than $80, you technically save money if all you want is a full set of the rainbow foils.
Technically, I still think if you get the Armory deck for $40, it's obviously a great entry level product. They really did a great job in giving the power into that deck, without, I guess, giving away the farm. But we're gonna move on. We got to talk about other cards. This card, I've mentioned it before. It just continues to go up, which is good for me, bad for everybody else. I'm just honest. And that's and that's Phantom Tide Maw. I'm so like,
Mhm.
let me tell you guys.
Who said it?
I
I think I
haven't
said it when the
I
card
have
came out. Like, this seems
I have
good. It's just not good
I
yet.
haven't put a single one on TCG. I haven't had time, and I won't be able to when I travel because I can't run my store. So I am
You gotta
like
do it
ecstatic.
now. You gotta do it now before the
I won't
lists
be able to
start
ship
coming
them.
out and don't include Phantom Tide Maw.
Yeah, I know, but I won't be able to ship them. So I'll have to do it when I come back. Otherwise, people will just buy a bunch of stuff I can't ship it. My rating will go down. They're at $24 right now. Per
Ooh,
Phantom.
Whoa.
Yeah,
whoa!
per Phantom Tide Maw. I'm
Dude,
not joking.
they were like
And they are
$1,
selling.
weren't they?
At the lowest, they were at $1.20, and I got them roughly, 5, 6-ish. Like, I'm not joking. Things are crazy. Things like Fab, you guys do some wacky things when things come into meta. I'm not
You're
like
about to clean up on that one, huh?
you guys. Some of you guys make this a little too easy. Okay, but no. What I'm saying is I think you can hold out on this. The card is mighty good, right? It's an aura. It says whenever an illusionist aura or whenever an illusionist card you control, is destroyed, put a +1 counter on this. It has Phantasm and it has Ward 1. The reason it's so good is once a card has a +1, then Enigma's weapon gives it go again. So there's a lot of synergy. It's also blue. It's hard to figure out where it doesn't block. Well, oh well.
It does
A lot of
block.
cards
For
don't
what?
block nowadays. Oh, that's true. Oh, I forget. Ward 1. Sorry, it doesn't block from hand. My bad. Okay. My bad. It is an instant though. I guess you just throw it down.
Mhm.
Never mind, it blocks. We're good. Um I think it'll creep back down. Okay. I don't think you need to go crazy right now and buy it for 20. It's hyped up right now. I don't know. It could shoot up even higher. I don't want to do that to you. Try and haggle. Try and trade it out. Don't just run over to TCG player and snatch them up. Not yet, at least, because mine aren't up there. Let me undercut it first. Let's move on because I like that this card's going up. It feels good. It's right. I saw the Runeblade reveal. That card's fantastic. I think they're going to keep slowly doing it because they can't give Runeblade too much. It'll just go through the roof. So they've got to ease it out. I know we say that and they give like the Kayo chess piece. You see Enigma like so they're like, well, just do it to Runeblade. It's just unban Dustblade. Let's just get it over with. Just let them have it. Revel in Runeblood. I love it. Love the cards going up. We're at $12.40 right now per normal first edition, which is up from its like $7 price at the beginning of April. It's like $7, $9. So I like it. Trending upwards. Revel in Runeblood feels good. Out of Everfest.
Okay, that's why it's first edition.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, sorry.
I wonder
only
why
first
it's
edition.
going up necessarily.
I don't know.
I guess Viscerai is getting more popular.
He did win. Actually, Andrew, if I'm not mistaken, I saw him with his little cowboy hat on, and he got the worst gold foil I've ever seen. But boy, I loved it. It did my heart good.
Better than Cut of Frost.
I love that. I love that guy so much. Always a bundle of joy. Definitely more fun that he actually always appears when he's playing Flesh and Blood. Gets into the series. So. But he took Viscerai, aggro Viscerai too. So Revel in Runeblood is a Runeblade action. It says if you have played an attack action card and another non-attack action card this turn, create 4 Runechant tokens. And then at the beginning of your end phase, you destroy all Runechant. Really good card. Various different styles. It's just it's great. Another
really
Majestic
well
from Everfest.
with creepers, spellbound creepers.
And it does.
Mm-hmm.
It gets you an action point out of nowhere. It's crazy. How do you do that? Not many decks can do that.
Shenanigans.
Action point economy is big. But Everfest, I can't tell you guys enough. It's still so cheap. I think I saw a box go for 36 on eBay. Like seriously, guys, you're fooling yourselves if you're not looking and searching for Everfest. You're fooling yourselves. And Tales of Aria, because it's going to come back with such a gusto. It's unreal.
By the way,
just trust
I
me.
need a place of this rounds on me.
I know. If they're not back there in the generic pile, I don't know what to do.
Let me know, because I'll buy them from you. But I'm going to buy them.
I don't know if I have any. I think I had like 1 or 2. I'll check.
Let me get in with my own market minute. I don't think these have gone through the roof yet, but this rounds on me says you've played a blue card this turn, and it didn't cost you any cards. You did give your opponent a card, but you also gave them -1 attack on all their attacks.
I actually think that if Zen gets a little out of control too, I think it's a great card against him. I mean,
It's
he's
really
going to
good
go
against
wide as
Zen.
all get out. It's at $8. I
It's good
did
against
check
Zen.
it.
It's good against Katsu. It's good against Dash IO. It's good against Phi.
It used to be really popular when Phi was big.
It's not even terrible versus like Kayo, but you don't really want to give him another card. But
Yeah,
if you had
I don't know
to,
if I want to give him more pitch.
if you had to, you're giving
Feels a little
-3,
too
-4 to his turn. So
It is true.
Mm.
They're only at $8.45. I giving KO another card to pitch with just feels like, please blow my home up with a gigantic attack, or like
And
I thought I was gonna have to
but
wait.
sometimes he just has a handful
for
of
Tunic.
blues.
I mean, a handful of blues and maybe a blood Russian arsenal quickly turns into some crazy things.
Or sometimes it's just 8 pass.
Yeah. Well, and you gave him an extra. I guess you gave him an extra card for him.
Or 7.
But it is only
7
$8.
pass.
I think $8 is actually criminally low for this card. And I'm not telling you it's trended up to 8. It's actually trended down to 8. So that might be another one. I had a card set aside to pick up, but I would pick up a play set of this round on me if you don't have it. Seriously, like now's the time.
Yeah, it was a $30 card at one point.
Even if you just want to have hedge your bets of playing a new Mistveil hero and countering Ninja or Ninja Mirror.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great card. Come to the new set. Speaking of the new set, speaking of cards that have gone through the roof, this should be no surprise, but I think when everybody saw the Enigma weapon, then everybody said it, and it went up even more when I last looked. They said, this is it. This is the hotness. And that's Shimmers of Silver. Okay. And I'm not talking the gold foil silvers either, Shimmer of Silvers. I'm talking the bare bones normal first edition from Everfest. By the way, how many times do I have to tell you? Everfest. Crazy. You should get it by me. It's insane. I cannot wait. You guys are going to see it. It's going to go from nothing to just stacks of, what's all those cases? All Everfest. All day. Shimmers of Silver says, once per turn effect, whenever you attack with an illusionist or a weapon, wow, I wonder who wants to use that, put a +1 counter on it. Spectra, which is, amazing.
It is a once per turn
yes.
effect. It is a once per turn effect. You don't get to swing with every single one of them and get a counter on every single one of them.
Yeah, but once you get one a counter, then you get the other. You've got go again.
It's got go again. Yeah, it's so. Shimmers of Silver is like an automatic 3 of in Enigma for sure. And
everybody,
I wonder why that was in the judge pack. Who knew?
Oh, who knew that it was going to go through the absolute roof? It is right now, and I'm not joking. $27 for a Shimmers of Silver normal. $35 they just sold Rainbow. It's crazy.
The cold foils are basically priceless.
I forgot that you said judge pack, right?
Yeah, it's a judge pack card.
Oh boy, they're out of stock. They don't even exist.
Yeah, they don't even exist.
Good luck.
Fair.
Art of War level right now, I'd assume. At least you're talking at least 500-600. If Sync's at 600 right now on TCG Player, and Art of War is about 750 if you try and buy them like person to person, you're probably about to pay that for your Shimmers. Not joking. Like you are probably going to pay that. You know how the illusionists are. They like their bling. Enigmas. Right up there with Prism. Let me tell you, if I was playing Enigma, I'd be sitting here with cold foil Shimmers. I get it. That's the crazy stuff that I have. And then I had a card that I think you guys should pick up because it's low. It's actually at its lowest I've ever seen. And I might have mentioned it before, but it keeps going down. And that's Glistening Steelblade. And the reason I want you guys to pick this up is there's no other way to get it except for buying the Reinhardt v. Dorinthia Classic Battles thing, which LSS once again does a great job of saying, well, did you play Warrior? Because did you about this card?
Well, at least they put 3 of everything in the new pre-con.
That is true. That is true. You actually would have to buy 3 separate Classic Battles to get 3 Glistenings, and they're $30-something a piece. Now, Glistening for the longest time was pretty much the entire value of that. I think Run Through was also a decent card, but we're talking it was $20-$25 per Glistening. It's $14 right now. Now's your time Okay, I'm serious. It's trending down. The card's dead. There's way too much armor right now. That card, like, yeah, I'm gonna twinning around it. Are you really? Are you really gonna
Are you
twinning
gonna
around
really
with your
play
opponent?
Dawnblade, Dory?
Well, that's one. Two, are you really gonna twinning around with somebody blocking with their 4 armor? Like that's what you want to twinning around? No, you want to twinning around somebody blocking 9. Nobody has to block 9 from hand. They feel okay. It's a weird meta right now. I'm not saying Dawnblade Dory is bad. I've seen it win plenty of PQs. It's one of those decks where you give a lot away to one matchup to try and play for another. It's hard. It's a hard sideboard right now to balance with the current meta. But definitely, if you're ever thinking about Warrior, Corinthia, technically, you really need your glistenings, and they're cheap, and there will be a time for them, and you'll be like, I wish I would have bought my glistenings when they were $14 and not $25. So keep your eyes on those. They'll probably go down a little more because seriously, the meta is really, really bad for it right now. But get them for like 10 a piece right now. Go haggle. $10 feels great. Play set for you buy a play set for 30 and you would have only got one out of that $30 classic battle. Just turn Monday into a Friday. I'm serious. Go go get yourself a play set of those from do it for me, please. It'll make me smile that you got it.
I got a request.
Uh-huh.
All right. If you're done with the regular stuff, the stuff that you had planned, I got a request for one that I want to know about. I want y'all's opinions on. Did you guys happen to watch the Blitz battles that the official website put out?
I watched some of it.
I watched the new versus Enigma one on the Uber on the way this morning.
I watched that one as well, and Enigma is terrifying. But watching the new gameplay got me thinking, what is Redback Shroud at? And is it going to stay that way?
I know when I checked, it was $5 not long ago.
You did mention that. I had mentioned it as well, I think, to you guys, that I thought, it might be a Redback time. So Redback Shroud Rainbow Foil right now is $10, which is actually crazy considering it really was about a $7 card a while ago. So, it hasn't like spiked. It hasn't really trended upwards. I think the cold foil bumped up a bit. The extended art one, which I have one of, is somehow still at $220. Don't ask me how.
Yeah, it's because of the high rarity.
You're paying that tax too. That full art tax on that card is fantastic.
Yeah, it's collector. It's a collector thing rather than playability.
Any other way, but I see what you're saying. I think Redback Shroud is a card that you get right now, and you wait for the deck list to smooth it out. But if a deck list like says, "Hey, this comes in during this matchup," I'd see it go up. When I see it go up, I'd say $20 tops on Rainbow Foil. It's not going to go anything higher than that. I think it's too niche right now. Still,
I don't think it's too niche.
I think
looking
it's
at some of the
pretty
spoilers
good.
that came out, I think it looks really good. Honestly,
Like it makes
if you are
Tide
interested in
Chakra-
playing new, if you're interested in playing new, you might want to get a copy.
I stand. You should definitely get it. I just like think about it this way: Empyrean Rapture is played in every Prism deck. Prism's really popular. I think it went from like $12 to $18. What I'm saying, like the Rainbow Foil didn't do what I thought. Will it jump? Absolutely, but I think like the meta is so open that nobody has sold out completely to one hero like it was in the Lexi meta or and things like that. I think that there's okay. I know there's a lot of prisms, but the prices don't necessarily reflect that because there's a lot of Kayos too, and like I don't see Kayo's arm piece or I keep waiting for like Bonebreaker to go back. It's weird. I think people are finding their place in the meta and they're trying to stay true to their identity and they're not. It doesn't feel like a whole triangle, one deck at the top and then 2 decks fight. It feels pretty okay.
Yeah, we'll get to
but
the
I
PQ results here in a little bit.
So the only thing I would say about Redback Shroud is that it does make Tide Chakra, Hiss, and Venomous Bite all free. But if you haven't pitched a blue yet during the turn, you're missing out value. So discounting it to 0 doesn't do as much as you would want it to do. You still would have to have spent your entire blue card. Now, if you're throwing a blue card into her hero ability, then it's pretty good. And it's also competing with Mask of Perdition, which I think of the 3 pieces that you usually buy back with silver, I think Mask of Perdition is the biggest one you're going to be competing with. Because I really think she is going to be not even a fatigue deck, but an active mill deck. Judging by what I've seen.
Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that. But how does she generate silver? And maybe I just haven't seen all the spoilers.
With the go again.
She's going to be doing contracts.
She throws
at least a few.
She like hits with the weapon, right? If the weapon hits, she throws out like a contract card, a blue one. So it has go
blue
again.
Contract.
And then now your entire combat chain is contracted to the card on there, whether that one hits or not. And then if you banish any other cards on the combat chain, those get counted in that contract. So you can generate silver off of that. It's really good.
The reason that it stuck out to me is for one spoiler in particular. Are we going to talk about spoilers later on, or are we going to save that all for next week?
Let's cover the PQ. Let's do it quick, and then we'll get into spoilers, because I think it's going to literally take up all this week and next week easily, and probably the week after. So
yeah, because there's a lot of new stuff.
Okay.
That I want to talk about.
Okay.
It took me for a sec.
First of all, we did have a Battle Harden this weekend. Battle Harden Richmond. Top 8 meta was interesting. No prisms.
No way.
She's such a big problem. No prisms in top 8.
No
God.
ALS loops.
I mean, and there was a Victor there, and there was an Azalea there. Where's the prism? Yeah, well, I mean, Kayo has scab skins.
No, Kano. There were two Kanos.
Yeah, there were 2 Kanos. Also, Prism beats up on Kanos. So where were the Prisms at? I don't know. Prism isn't that bad. I can understand ALS looping is lame. I kind of hope they'll fix it, but it's not. She's not dominating the meta. You want to know who is dominating the meta? 3 KOs in top 8. I wonder if they were all Savage Sash KOs, or if we had any Tunic KOs there. I didn't get to watch it or really follow up.
Did you really play Tunic over Savage
I only know about the results thanks to Michael Thing posting it on Twitter.
So 2 Kano, 3 KO, Victor, Azalea, and a Bolton. Bolton, I think, is the big surprise there.
That new Oath of Steel thing is so cheesy. If you can get to it, it's you tell me who's you block your entire deck down to 3 Luminous Ascensions with the Spirit in the hand. You play Oath of Steel and you swing literally up to your weapon of 10, because Oath of Steel says every time you swing you get +1. So the first comes in for 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 5, then 6, and 7. I literally got zeroed out from 38 life all the way, blocking out with all my armor and like D-react. It's completely silly. I mean, if you kill them before they do that, then you win. It's
combo deck.
It's a combo deck.
So,
you do it or you don't.
The finals were Andrew Epermanis on KO versus Majin Bay on Kano. So it was a KO versus Kano matchup, and I guess I don't want to spoil it, but it ended on like turn 2, and it's really funny. I would wait until Majin Bay's story time comes out. I don't want to spoil it here, because I'm sure it'll be way funnier from Majin Bay's perspective. He does a story time for most of the competitions he goes to. Go to his channel, watch it there. The guy is hilarious.
He is an awesome dude.
One of my favorite YouTube videos ever is him talking about the time he almost died at Pro Tour and had to go get like an IV bag. Because the dude was like, I was hungover and just couldn't stop throwing up. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm listening to him, I'm like, I think you had food poisoning and didn't realize it, man. There's no way that being hungover and queasy cascades that far out of control. He had to be food poisoned. Just didn't realize it. PQ results week 4. KO has dominated yet again with 25 wins.
It's a good time to segue.
Standing tall above second, who had 16, and that was Victor. What's your segue?
The armory decks might not matter. Many people have made this. You get like, I can't get my armory deck. Well, it might not really matter.
It might not.
At least for
I think he's at 500-ish points now.
527 or something like that.
527. I thought it was 517. Let me double check.
So the next set's not even out. We still have 3 weeks before the pre-release.
517.
KO is already halfway. He is speed running Mandible Claws out of the meta.
Yeah, which is actually sad for all the other brutes.
Zoom.
I guess the Blitz Hero doesn't count, because KO Berserker Runt's the one that had them before he did.
I don't know how
They'll
they do
still
it
be
with.
legal in Blitz.
I think
but
it's
they
as
will
long
not
as
be
one of
legal
them
in
are
CC,
legal.
I think.
Won't this be the same kind of Centauri Sabers fiasco?
As long as one of them are legal in the format, they probably don't retire. So if either KO is legal in the Blitz format, then the Mandible Claw will be playable in Blitz format.
We'll have to see. That'd be really
it's Blitz. I mean, we do have a skirmish season coming up, but it's still Blitz. So we're talking about classic constructed most of the time here.
Do we have a skirmish season coming up?
We do.
Seriously? When?
I think that's the next season is skirmish. ProQuest is done, so skirmish is the next thing right after. I think it's right after Nats or right in the middle of Nats.
Okay. I want to put together a Blitz deck. I don't know. It'll be fun. I'm playing Benji though, or something fun, or KO Berserker Run. I'm gambling.
So third place was Prism with 8 wins. You can see how it dropped off very dramatically, 25, 16, 8. And then you have a smattering of people with 3 to 6 wins and so on. So the meta was very, very much dominated by KO and to a lesser extent Victor, which is not surprising. Victor is one of the newer heroes. He's also got that high floor because he's a guardian, and he's got some interesting things he does to abuse value. I think it is pretty interesting the fact that one of his worst matchups is KO, and he's still winning ProQuests. Maybe they just go to different ProQuests, because most of the ProQuests I've been into have been KO heavy and not many Victors.
Yeah, I only went to that one, but I think there was more KOs than Victors as well.
So now, is KO a problem? Is it bad that he's getting living legend points so fast?
I think it's definitely a bad thing that he's speedrunning to LL, mainly because they just put out this product intended for new players, and KO is supposed to be a new player-friendly hero because he is fairly simple, a little bit variance, but really cool and really powerful things that you can do right out the gate. But he's a little too strong.
Yeah, I feel like, don't you guys feel like Savage Sash was literally like I don't even think it was needed. I mean, like, he was winning well before Savage Sash, and they were basically like, hey, you know what'd be cool? Let's just make him win some more.
What if they can start the game with a Blood Rush Bellow in play? Wouldn't that be neat?
I don't know.
Pretty sweet, right? So Savage Sash is incredibly powerful. Like, it's Courage of Bladehold, but imagine instead of like just swinging a weapon twice, they're like bashing you in the face for attacks for 7, 3 times, and then also a claw because they just have so many extra resources.
Yeah, it's brute attacks, right? It's brute attacks.
Yep.
So the claws count, right? Like, that's, I know he only gets one claw.
No.
Like,
it doesn't affect the claw. I'm just saying you have so many resources left over that like it doesn't matter.
I was about to say, oh my god.
No.
He's throwing claws for one.
But it's not even necessarily brute attacks. You also get to command and conquer for 1 resource. It's just attacks that are 6 or more.
Oh, that's man, LSS, come on. You're asking KOs to put pummel in. I'm serious. That's what you're doing. I know they do it anyway, but you're asking.
No, it's a non-6.
Put pummels in.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
Let's scale back. Let's talk about the pre-con that came out, because when we released our last podcast, it wasn't quite out yet. I played it. It's actually pretty good. I think you could pick it up. You could immediately play in Armory, and if you're a good player, which if you're new, you might struggle, it's solid. It can't miss. Like, there's literally no misses. All your Bear Fangs and Wild Rides will always hit. I was playtesting against Chris Martin, and he did a turn where he threatened 24 damage in 1 turn. And if a precon can come out the gate, sit down, and do 24 damage in 1 turn, it's pretty strong.
That feels pretty good. That feels pretty good.
Yeah.
That also is a testament to just how crazy Kayo.
Actually, really well made deck. A little bit blue heavy, but it's trying to give newer players a way to practice, and having the deck be super consistent is a good way to do that. It's got a very good equipment suite. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 block. It's got 8 block in the equipment suite. It's got a versatile weapon that makes you think about how you craft your turn. I think it actually is an excellent way to learn the game for the next 2-3 months.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like that. It's
if we were going now, let's step up. How do we keep Kayo from hitting Living Legend? And he could hit it in that season if he just goes off the wall crazy and wins a bunch of nationals and wins U.S. nationals on top of that. He could be Living Legend after Nats.
Do we think
wild? I think that might be the fastest ever, right?
I think Starvo did it in one season.
That would essentially be would you, I guess you would say Nats is in the Mistveil season, even though it's only 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
So we've got someone who plowed through his Living Legend points potentially almost as fast as Starvo did. I think that's crazy.
It's crazy that KO is putting up all these results and everything, and nobody is whining about KO. Everybody's just whining about Prism and everybody else.
Maybe Twitter's just whining about Prism because Twitter likes finding like the one card that they don't like. On Discord, people are whining about KO. When we're talking about like competitive Flesh and Blood, KO is the deck to beat right now. If you can't have it, even if you sit across KO and Fleshback just keeps you from winning the game, your deck's not viable.
You know, it's crazy that one of KO's worst matchups is actually it's the Warriors. His Warrior matchup's pretty bad on Kasai, Dory, and Bolton.
I think it was until Savage Sash.
A lot of people are saying that as well. That kind of flipped the script a little bit. But I mean, what do you do? Savage Sash was a unneeded addition, right? So, but you can't really take it away because that's like literally the highlight of this.
No, you
product.
can't. Well, no, you literally can't ban any of the cards that are in the classic constructed deck, the precon. Like,
did Cast Bones come in it?
Nope. No non-sixes. I think actually probably the best way to balance out the deck, to balance out KO, is to ban Bare Fangs. But Bare Fangs is in the precon armory deck.
They're not going to ban anything. There's not going to be any bans coming for KO. What I think they're actually going to do is what we've seen is some of these spoilers that are coming out in Mistveil, some of the power creep that we're seeing for like Levia and Vincent, and these other really powerful stuff in the expansion slots. Everything else is getting a bump up to kind of be a little more competitive against KO.
That is true.
That's going to be the balance.
That is true, but
not everything is.
Kindle is
okay. Kindle's nuts.
Kindle's cool. I'm not a wizard player. Kindle's kind of cool.
Kindle is literally so Kindle's not for now though. I'll tell you this right now. Kindle is for the all wizard set.
I think literally the only thing that you could ban out of KO that makes any sense is Blood Rush Bellow.
Oh no, you hurt the brutes.
Not a chance.
You don't hurt the brutes. Because the only reason Blood Rush Bellow is playable is because of Mandible Claws. If Mandible Claws rides its way out through Living Legend in the next 3 months, then Blood Rush Bellow doesn't matter anyway.
So you just play Art of War?
You probably don't play it at all. I've already told you the pre-con KO deck was pretty good. Maybe throw Cast Bones in. That's it. That's the only thing I can think of is banning Blood Rush Bellow. It's the only thing that makes sense if they want to tone KO down without hitting the pre-con armory deck. Blood Rush Bellow is like the only viable target. If they ban Cast Bones, that means they just completely miss the pulse of why the deck is good. Because Cast Bones is not it. Cast Bones just helps some matchups. The next armory deck is going to be Bolton.
That may be the real one after KO goes. I mean, maybe they're planning on Bolton being the more introductory hero. I mean, Bolton is pretty cool.
He's very complex.
I'm not a warrior. I keep saying it, but I'm not a warrior guy. It's never been my interest in playing warriors, but I like Bolton's here. The whole concept of Bolton. I like his flavor and everything. So the armory deck, it makes sense to me. It makes sense that that's a character that we want new players to be introduced to.
Well, I mean, KO discards cards. Bolton charges cards. There's a similarity there. They're still card negative to do their little things.
Bolton's more mid-range than I think a full-out aggro deck or a combo deck. I feel like it gives you different play style. It depends on what Bolt you're playing. I think Raiden's...
So the 2 cards that we've seen that are coming in the new armory deck, you can even already see them in February and play them in Talishar because the Talishar guys are cracked and get these cards in really fast.
Shout out to them.
Warpath of Winged Grace, a Blade Break 2. When this defends, you may charge your hero's soul. If a yellow card is charged this way, create a Quicken token. This seems really good. I don't know about... Man, I almost feel like you just chunk it turn 0 so you don't lose a card.
It it gives you a charge. It gives you a quicken, so you can go again without having to do the.
But it's a charge on your opponent's turn.
It
Yes,
is
it
a
does
charge
get
on
a
your
card
opponent's
into your
turn.
soul if you're struggling to get enough soul. So this is almost like just a combo Bolton. Like, it's the last attack of a chain. You've got one extra card. You don't really want it. You don't mind taking like a hit, a small bit of damage. You go ahead and block with the boots and charge that last card. So it seems like they're just making combo Bolton together better. And I don't think that this new deck will be a combo Bolton deck. I think it's going to be Raiden.
I don't think so.
Okay. It's okay for Raiden too, though, if you're trying to throw Celestial Cataclysms out, because that's going to cost you 3 for soul. And like getting the extra soul and having that quicken token, it kind of enables you to not have to remove the card to get the attack go again. So you get to get the free swing, then play. I don't know. I actually like it. I think it gives him just more options. It doesn't like, whoa, it just spells out like it fixes a big weakness. No, I think it makes his play pattern smooth. I think it rewards you for doing your blocks. You feel good about it. I don't know. You can always save the quicken token too.
You know what I do feel good about though? Saving Grace. I think this new defense reaction's strong. As additional, it's a yellow defense reaction, 3 block. As additional cost to play this, you may charge your hero's soul. If you've charged this turn, target attack gets -2 power. So it is a 2-card 5. It's slightly under rate, but we're charging a card, right? And you don't have to. That May part of it is actually like really good. So it's almost like Soul Shield. You know, you pitch a card, Soul Shield goes in. So it's like the flip of Soul Shield, right? Except that it has the extra utility of not like making you die because you don't have the correct pitch for it. So I think Saving Grace is really good. I think that's the bigger card that's coming out of this so far, rather than the boots. But the boots aren't bad.
That helps combo Bolton as well. He wants to stall anyway, and that's a pretty good stall card.
Yep.
I don't think the deck's going to be a stall deck. I mean, you brought up Raiden. I think it's more likely they're going to include his signature weapon in the Armory deck.
Yep.
I don't see the Bolton Armory deck coming out with Sailors or Hot Streak or
Hatch
stuff. It's going to be a Raiden.
I totally agree. It's going to be a Raiden deck. In fact, I think the boots actually do very well for Raiden. I think it'll make sense.
There is some argument that like, are they going to really put the majestic weapon into there? Maybe not, but
probably.
Hopefully it's not Hatchet of Body and Mind deck.
I hope not.
Hatchet of Body and Mind kind of plays into a more value centric. I mean, again, unless you're playing full. I don't know. It depends on what they want to teach the newer players of Flesh and Blood. I feel like both are still very viable things.
Okay, we got 20 minutes. Let's jump in to spoiler season is like really officially started. We got a huge dump of commons. As just a really quick spoiler, we got the promo card for Nats, which is going to be that really, really pretty time snap potion.
Oh man,
looks great.
That's pretty.
LSS,
and LSS is kind of trolling, saying, "Hey, Prism's like a big deal, right? Put your time snap potions in, throw your turn away.
You're gonna need this.
you're gonna need that card."
So we got all of the common equipment, I think, or at least we think all of it, and a lot of common cards. I think the most disappointing card set that we got is maybe Zen's, if you're hoping for a lot of new cards. But anyone who kind of knows how this goes, there's already a pretty large card base for Crouching Tigers, right? So not surprising we're getting quite a few reprints, where New and Enigma are 2 almost new archetypes. So they need a lot of support, which is understandable.
Okay, let's talk about the format that they have been releasing the spoilers this time, because showing us all the commons and everything first is a new way that they're doing that.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about it?
I like
yes, because I could go ahead and start thinking about what's good for draft. I could go ahead and start thinking about what's the meat and potatoes of some of these decks that we'll see. Yep. Because commons often carry decks. Like,
yeah,
that's going to be what your low ball turns are, right? It's how the commons and rares work together. Your high roll turns are how the new majestics go. So we can go ahead and start thinking about like what are the rates on our kind of low ball hand. I think it's great. Also, don't give content creators commons to spoil. Give them all the better rares, the majestics, the legendaries, the fable, if they they'll probably do the Fable
They're not
like
gonna do the
normal.
Fable. Now, the Fable has been a pre-release or release day thing that they've tried to do every time. But I think this is probably the best way that they have done spoiler season so far, just because we get to see all of like you said, the meat and potatoes of the set, what the core mechanics of the heroes are going to be. And I love the way that they did the blitz decks and that versus battle with the blitz decks as a showcase for these new mechanics and these new cards.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Whoever came up with that, kudos. Absolutely brilliant.
It's a great way to see the cards in action. Everything. How does it play out? The turns. You really get to start getting more than just like, oh, I'm looking at cards on a paper, and you want to see them. You want to see what they do. You want to see how it interacts, especially versus Enigma. That's going to be a top tier deck. So you might want to start in and now.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, but watching that game and seeing that ward stuff pile up like that, if you miss one turn against Enigma, it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how Prism feels sometimes, right? Like you have to take a single turn off, and then suddenly like she's throwing 2 heralds at you. She set up an angel in your turn and sets up another angel in her turn. So suddenly she's gained 8 life and she's threatening 14 plus.
Yep.
Yeah, but all of that ward, man, just every little bit and piece is another point of life that you have to get through in order to
It's
kill
also
Enigma.
all like 1 ward at a time mostly too.
Ooh.
It's a lot of spectral shields, so you can't like the angels where you throw 1 damage and manage to pop an angel.
I know what you're thinking, Donnie. I'm gonna borrow your Vincent. Don't worry.
Just one little non-attack action and poof, they all go away.
I already said if this becomes the 2 decks, it's goodbye Dorinthia. I gotta go to
Iron Song Chorus.
Yeah, that's true. I gotta play Dawnblade though at that point.
Yep. Let's see.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Malign.
Malign's good.
Tiger Strike Shuko.
Malign's pretty good. Shuko is going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Vambrace of Determination.
That's just one little pop.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vambrace of Determination doesn't feel like it does enough to get around that type of place. You need
You're
something
pitching
that
1 resource. I think it costs 1 resource to do it. You're pitching 1 resource to get rid of 1 spectral shield. That seems
Let me look it up.
not great.
I want to.
It allows you to they've cheekily slipped in 1 more point of damage prevention.
We have about 15 minutes to power through a ton of cards. We will probably just have to hit some highlights. I want to talk about Beckoning Mistblade. So this is the card we didn't want to talk about because it got leaked early, unfortunately. But it's out now, confirmed. Card is incredible.
It's fantastic.
You better block that dagger.
Pay 2. Once per turn action, pay 2, attack, go again. When this hits, your next blue attack this turn gets +1 and go again. We talked about just early in the podcast, how this can interact with contract cards to put a blue contract card with go again onto the chain. And then if they hit with anything else that banishes, and there are a lot of cards that banish in this set, then you get to proc these additional contracts. You get to break your Mask of Perdition, banish another card, build up silver, buy your Mask of Perdition back, keep the engine going. And then New gets to use her hero ability if she's banished any blue cards, where she starts to get abusing you with your own cards.
That's what she's running a lot of blues, so paying for the daggers isn't a problem where it would be another assassin decks. 2, she doesn't have to give her own blues go again, like I said. She can give your own blues go again that she's stealing from you. So it feels really good. I was wondering how they were going to tie this all together. You get to play 2 Mistblades if you want to, right? Because you can give go a little wacky. And so I actually think that it's amazing.
I don't think you play with 2 Mistblades, though.
I don't think so either.
I think you still want to go...
Because I do miss the piercing.
Yeah. And maybe you put one in your inventory. Maybe you put one in your inventory so that you could flick a Beckoning Mistblade to get go again. Guaranteed, basically. And then you could re-equip it so that you're not like kind of just boned for the rest of the game. You don't have your like main mechanic.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Because it says when this hits, like, so if you flick it, that counts. You get go again on your blue attack, and not only that, you could throw the blue attack, then flick it to give the attack go again. Oh no, it's next blue attack this turn. No, it'd be the next one. No, so
Dash blue attack this turn.
yeah,
Yeah, so
so
no, that wouldn't work.
So you'd have to like throw your spider's bite, flick the Mistblade, and then all their attacks get -1. Yeah.
It's funny you notice that it doesn't have piercing though. That means it's
That's
blockable with
good.
Dynamo, which is actually pretty
This
good.
does not need piercing. It's
No, if it had piercing, it'd be pretty crazy.
because then you can
it's
use
already
your
pretty
1-point
good.
armors to block it. It's balanced because you could use your 1-point armors to block it, right? It puts pressure on the armor just the
It's
same.
perfectly balanced. What do you mean? It's
Well,
gonna be fine.
Battlefront Bastion also feels like a pretty good card because think about it, you block it, then you get the 1 prevent, so they can't go dagger into dagger. I like that.
I think
Good card.
you just race her down. Like that might be what you have to do anyway. You use your gear to block it as well as you can, and then race her down.
Yeah.
The issue is that if this Mistblade hits, those red stealth attacks come in for 4 now. No, I mean blue. No, the blues come in for 2. Oh no, it's blue only. So the blues will come in for 2.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that's significant because now your red attack reactions push it to 5, which is above a sync blow range.
It's a way for
And
this
some of
assassin
these
to have
things are
width.
really cool.
Yeah, the effects are good. Like I don't know.
We now know what Slither and Fang Strike do, and it's good.
Both amazing.
Yep,
New keyword.
No, ephemeral's not new keyword. It's on Crouching Tiger. So ephemeral means it's a funny keyword. You can arsenal it. It could be in your hand. You could send it into your deck. But if it hits your banish or your discard, then it goes away.
Oof.
Oh, actually, no.
Doesn't
if it hits
exist.
your graveyard, it goes away. Specifically just graveyard. So it could get banished and just float there too. So Fang Strike is an attack reaction, 0 cost. Target attack action card gets +1. Slither is target attack action card gets go again. So new has plenty of go again. Seems really good.
Yep.
She got 2 new attack reactions, Hiss and Venomous Bite. Hiss makes can make a Slither. It's a 1 cost rainbow, so you got red, yellow, blue. 1 cost reaction gives +3 on red to target assassin or mystic attack. If you've pitched a blue card this turn, create a Slither. So this can give +3, then immediately create a Slither that you can use immediately to give the card go again.
That I'm pretty sure is going to be run as a rainbow in all the new decks.
So
specifically because of another card that I've been dying to talk about, and this is the card that is the reason why I think Redback Shroud is going to be good. Double Trouble.
Yeah.
Did you read that one, right?
Yeah, Double Trouble. We could talk about it now since you've brought it up. Double Trouble is a 0 cost stealth, 3 attack, 3 block. If you've played or activated 2 or more attack reactions this chain link, this gets +2. When this hits a hero, banish the top 2 cards of their deck. Wow. This card is insane because
Rainbow too.
You pitch.
It's a rare.
You play it.
This is a rare.
You play it. You pitch the blue. You play the Hiss. You give it +3. You push it to a 6. You get the go again. You give it go again. It pushes it to an 8. And then if there is a blue contract card beforehand that had go again already, that contract is active. And if you hit 2, if those 2 cards are on the contract, you get silver.
No,
I can't wait.
And it's a block.
I can't wait to play this card.
And so Double Trouble is. And by the way, these attack reactions also block 3. So this Hiss is essentially a Razor Reflexes that blocks 3, and can target any assassin, so it can hit things like Already Dead.
Yeah, Venomous Bites that block 3 too. I really like the block.
And Venomous Bite is the exact same thing as Hiss, except it makes the Fang Strike. And Fang Strike is super interesting because you can save that card. Like let's say you have no arsenal and you want the attack reaction for next turn to fuel your, because she's seems to be a heavily attack reaction deck. You can actually arsenal the Fang Strike. You don't have to use it immediately. Same thing with the Slither. You don't have to use it immediately.
Yeah, save the go again for later.
Yep. It's very strong.
I like it. Good.
Yeah, this card is cracked.
And they have no pitch values.
Yeah,
the
they
Fang Strike and Slither. So you can't actually, they can't chunk your deck up, which is a good thing because I don't think you actually want to have that many.
Well, you don't put them in your deck. They're not cards.
I know they get played and they go to the graveyard, but
they can only be made.
Same.
But yeah, this card is the reason why I think Redback Shroud is going to see play. Because Redback Shroud, you activate it as an attack reaction, then the next attack reaction costs 1 less.
That counts as I see what you're saying.
It sure does. The Redback
it
Shroud
doesn't
is your first attack reaction. Even if you only have these 2 cards in hand, you still have 2 attack reactions. Turn this card into an 8.
No, I like that. I for some reason when I was thinking or looking at Double
maybe-
Trouble, it has to target the attack.
Maybe
the card, but it
Shriek
doesn't. It
Razors
just
is
protects-
actually playable too.
Well, that's why I
Shriek
banked
Razors
on
cost
Shriek
2,
Razors.
so still no.
2
If you
fits
play
into
it-
that curve.
You play the Redback Shroud, and it makes it 1 less, and then you have Shriek Razors active. So don't count your Shriek Razors out just yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't count Shriek Razors out. It kind of fits the curve a bit.
I like the fact that we get a different glove piece for this assassin. The daggers don't pierce. Maybe we're not flicking knives. Maybe
I don't know. That's
we'll
the
see.
only reason I wouldn't run Shriek Razors. Flicking a Beckoning Mistblade seems really strong. That is
It does.
incredibly strong at the end of the game. Deal 1 damage, give your next blue attack go again.
I feel like Concealed Blade is probably going to be a 3 of in the deck. Just
Oh,
because
you
you
know-
like so many
You
attack
know what
reactions.
that does? You know what Flick Knives does with Beckoning Mistblade? It turns your gloves into boots. That's so good. There's so many decks where if I could just have put Achilles accelerators in my glove slot, heck yeah. You're turning your gloves into boots. That's incredible, actually. Because
I'll take it.
LSS usually does. Gloves are for power, boots are for action points, chest is for resource, helmets for cards. The gloves give you a boots ability now. That's really strong.
it's nice that you
Knives,
mentioned.
3 Beckoning Mistblades and Concealed Blades. I like it.
We got some really cool equipment reveals. We got like all the common equipment. It's all this new cloaked mechanic where the cards come out face down. I think that's gonna be really interesting in limited, especially considering we got several cards that all say if you're at 1 life exactly at the start of your turn, flip it face up. I don't like that's at the start of your turn. I think it'd be better if at any point you are at 1 life, you could flip it face up, because it's already going to be a lot of effort to get that, but it does reward you for skill expression, right? High skill expression, get to 1 life. The ninja one gives you is a chess piece that gives you a 3 block blade break. Really good. The illusionist one is a ward 4. So you just gain 4 life essentially. Kind of. And then I don't think they've spoiled one for assassin yet that has that mechanic. I don't think so.
No, the only other things we have are that looks like the limited set, the Sky Crest, Sky Body, all that.
Let's see. Some of the more notable pieces of equipment. Stride of Reprisal. When this defense, create a Crouching Tiger in hand. Blade Break 1. It's not as good as the Round the Table one. The Round the Table one's Battle Worn 1, and then you could just crack it to put a Crouching Tiger into your banish zone. So you can kind of just do it whenever you want. However, this does put it into your hand, so you can save it if you can't use it.
I think they're being pretty lenient with Zen, and I think they should be by rights, because there's already an OTK with
That's with Benji though,
Crouching-
where like the
with
stuff is
Crouching Tigers.
unblockable. Yeah, that's with Benji, where he
Well,
abuses his ability that you can't block anything. Because
No,
if you
there's-
block it, it's not
There's
as good.
Tiger Swipe shenanigans that just makes way too many Crouching Tigers that you can't. You just physically you don't have enough cards to block. But
Yeah, I want to
you
do
mentioned that there's limited like new cards. I think they're trying to like Zen has a way of just going off too good in my opinion. So I think they're gonna keep him
Hold
in
on.
check.
For what we've seen of the heroes, there's several ways that these heroes can just suddenly go off.
Yeah.
Oops.
No,
So
Yeah.
So let's revisit Enigma, the legendary mystic that's for Enigma. The fact that it gives all your spectral tokens +1 and creates 2 of them just means if you have a handful of blue cards and you get to play that card out and it comes back as a blue, and then you get to go swing with spectral shield, 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 swing with spectral shield.
Ew.
Yeah, ew. The first one's free too. Like, so with a handful of blue cards, you could essentially swing like 10 plus times with ease. If you have the spectral shield pile. Zen has the same thing going on, right? He can just create a bunch of crouching tigers and give them all +1 for that turn. So
Zen's gonna be another oops I win deck.
I think
Yeah.
Enigma could possibly be one too. You miss that one time and they happen to have that instant in their hand and you're just dead. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of other kind of like chaff or common cards that we got. I think some interesting ones are First Tenet of Chi Moon. Your next blue attack this turn gets when this attacks, draw a card, go again. So this is a great starter card. Like it's a blue block 3. It immediately replaces itself and counts as that blue play for the turn. I wouldn't be surprised if this is in Classic constructed for all 3 decks. It actually wouldn't surprise me. Just because
What was the name of that again?
First Tenet of Chi Moon. It is MST092 if you're trying to scroll down and look for it. It's kind of like there with that this round's on me. It's a blue card that kind of immediately replaces itself and gives you that like I've played a blue card this turn effect so that you could transcend.
Yeah, I like it. Blocks 3 too. And it's a blue. So it does everything. It's a blue.
I think
They
you're
all
right.
want blues.
I think that's
it
a
blocks
3 of.
3.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
It's definitely a
There'd
3 of
be-
in Enigma and Zen, in my opinion. It may not be necessarily a 3 of in New. She might not use as many of those instants and stuff. She might just use just the bare minimum because her ability isn't something you necessarily want to use every turn, right? You can go, okay,
No.
this is the turn. I want to bust a whole bunch of blue cards out of their banished zone and kill them with it, right?
I'm thinking maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah,
if that. Many.
if that many, because you're also potentially playing a slightly slower game too, because you've got this life gain. Oh, let's talk about the life gain cards. I know we're bouncing around a lot but
there's a lot to
there's
talk
so
about. We're
much to
gonna
talk
bounce
about.
around. Just
So she got like a whole series of cards that gain life. Art of
Poison the Wells coming up, baby.
so
no.
the thing is,
no, I
Poison the
forgot
Wells
about
is
that
the
card.
next time they gain life this turn. It's only 1 life at a time. It's so bad.
Listen.
So
There'll be a time.
we got Art of Desire Body. 0 cost, 3 attack stealth. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. When this banishes a red card, draw a card and gain 1. That's not even the good one. That one's fine because it targets red cards. It's going to hit pretty often. And I don't know how good this will be in limited. It'll be better in Classic constructed. Bonds of Attraction. 0 cost, 3 stealth. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of the graveyard. Top card of their deck, then banish a card from their graveyard. Whenever this banishes a card, if this is banished another card with the same color, gain 1 life. That is so good.
Yeah, because you just get to choose through their graveyard pretty much, and
They just got to match on color. So unless you banish a Gorg Tome off the top, you're probably gaining life.
It's funny you mentioned Concealed Blade. You guys should probably pick that up. It's
Really? Good.
It's a
God.
they don't.
Card went up.
That market doesn't sleep. As soon as something gets announced, it goes.
We also have Bonds of Memory. So this one looks for cards with the same name. You banish a card off the top and a card from graveyard. Looks for a card same name. Clearly not as good as Bonds of Attraction, but still good. Then Desires of Flesh. This one is a hit. Whenever it banishes an attack action card, gain 1. That one's probably pretty solid too. Impulsive.
I like the life gain series. I just want to say the reason is.
Do you want to play against an assassin who could gain 12 life just from her attacks in a turn?
But think about the exchange. That assassin's going to have to keep quite a few cards in her hand to pitch for the daggers, to have a blue to want to play, to have there's a lot of cards that they're gonna need. Granted, if you have cards already banished, you're gonna steal.
Let's just think they put the stealth card in Arsenal. They keep a blue and a hiss. I think you're wrong. They block with 2 cards and then they say gut check. Do you think I have the attack reaction?
Right, but you're basically playing against a warrior, so you just overblock and their turn's useless. You throw back value, and they need to have some way of leveraging the playing field, and that's trying to gain life to nickel back. I think it'll speak wonderfully together. There is too much of the I want to hold. New wants to hold 5 cards. Believe me, the way it looks like. You're not going to be able to hold 5 cards against most of these decks that are putting out that much pressure. Kayo's not
Oh.
going to let you hold 5 cards.
I mean, it depends.
And if you do, are you really throwing that much of a threatening turn?
I mean, if
To
you
counteract
hit
the
KO with
24
a
damage you just
surgical
took?
extraction, he's not holding 5 cards.
Oh, not going to let you hit him with a surgical.
Is
Okay,
he?
what about surgical extraction for 5 with
Man,
Go
because
again?
the last time I checked, KO doesn't have attack or defense reactions in his deck.
He's
Not
got
usually.
reckless. He's got reckless.
No,
swing
a lot
and-
of people are
Not
completely
usually.
bailed on that card. It's 2 no fears.
Well,
it's 2 no fears for
don't-
Azalea and Guardian.
Don't tell me that, because every time somebody says I don't run reckless swing, I get reckless.
Always respect
Okay.
it. Always respect it. Because there is one guy running it, and one guy is
You
taking
can't-
it for the team and running it for every other KO in the
You can't
room.
tell me. You can't tell me to not.
So we've also got Impulsive Desire and Mind's Desire. Impulsive Desire targets your reactions and instants, and then Mind's Desire targets non-attack action cards. So it's kind of like all the other contract cards where they kind of target a certain card archetype. We've got a full set of
There's
those.
so much life gain. Holy, but she's gonna need it. I'm telling you, she's gonna need it. It's fine. It all makes sense. She's gonna nickel and dime the life back up.
Yeah, it could be a lot of life
Remember,
gain.
only blue cards are getting Go again. Let's be real here. Okay.
No, Slither targets anything.
Okay,
Slither
that's-
targets anything. Yeah.
But-
And you got to remember,
get
these,
ahead of
some of these cards, the ones that transcend, come back as a blue anyway. So you could do a lot more on a 3 or 4 card hand than you think.
I assume they're not actually the reverse side. You literally
They
just
are.
replace it with the pitch.
No, they actually say
No,
what card they were
come on.
generated from on the back. So they are. They're dual sided. I have
Just
we
carry a bunch
sleeve
of
our
the
limited
pitch
decks
tokens and
anyway.
just-
Okay.
Man.
All right. Enigma's weapon is cracked.
Yeah.
During your turn, auras you control with ward are weapons with base equal to their ward. Kill me. Once per turn action, pay 1, attack. Your aura attacks with 1 or more +1 counters on them get Go again. So
boy.
remember her hero
This
power.
set's
The
looking
first
so
one
good.
every turn is free. So you end your turn and she has ward 4 because she played it as an instant at the end of your turn. She's swinging a free 4 Go again. It costs nothing. It's just
or she getting the +1 on it.
there's a multitude of ways to get the +1 counters on it, but let's say it doesn't
Well,
even
that's
have
what I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah, let's say it
But-
doesn't even
but
have
the-
it. Let's say she just
Right.
blocked out with her hand, and last card she just dropped this 4 down, ward 4. She swings for 4. You pop it the next turn. It got the full 4 points of value. She just threw a 1-card 8 at you.
Pretty much. Oh, look, the deck again. The deck's got to have some drawbacks, right? Other than
Yeah.
just, other than just
Her
consent.
weapons are fragile, right? Her weapons are fragile.
Right.
She's not like
There's also gonna be a lot of no blocks in the deck. Maybe not.
so
A lot of block threes.
it doesn't say auras, so she can't put down that shimmers of silver and swing with it, right? It's only her ward cards. So specifically auras with ward. So spectral shields,
okay.
the new cards that came out, which are all really really fun.
God, I was gonna say, that one card, we should save it though. People are calling it like the best tempo card of 20. You know what card?
Which one?
We need a whole series on. Hold on, I'll find it. It's the one that says if you have no illusionist auras on the board, it comes down and it's just awfully.
Are you talking about the 0 cost one that's ward 3 and also makes 1 spectral shield? Because that one is pretty strong. When this enters the arena, if you control no other, hold on.
Yeah.
In red, it is a 2 block. Why would you ever block with it? That says it's a 0 cost. When this enters the arena, if you control no other illusionist auras, create a spectral shield token. Ward 4, illusionist action aura. Oh, it's not an instant though. No, so it's just good. I thought it was maybe an instant. It's not.
It's okay. I'll find it.
Random thought. That weapon, Enigma's weapon, it's not a mystic weapon, is it? So it's something Prism can use, right?
Technically, yeah, I can. The angels can't swing because they're not auras. They're allies.
Right, but merciful retribution is a thing.
I guess.
I'm just saying that's a lot of spectral shields and a lot of
I don't know. I think it's better to spend more resources and get like bigger attack with go again. But I don't know. Maybe someone will come up with some goofy archetype.
Just a thought.
You know, kind of like
Iris
Stromai, where you don't even have any dragons in it. You just like play a bunch of red attacks and then drop a burn them all and just swing with burn them all every turn. So dumb.
Right. Yeah, just something random. I mean, that would be an interesting thing to try, I guess, if you're into illusionists.
Oh, there are ways for her to play her stuff as an instant. I missed this one. So red, it's a block 3, 0 cost, illusionist action aura. When this leaves the arena, if you control no illusionist auras, you may play your next aura with cost 2 or less this turn as though it were an instant. If you do, it enters the arena with a +1 counter.
That card.
Ward 1. Card. It's only Ward 1.
That's the card I'm talking about.
That card is wild.
That card's ludicrous. It's insane.
The art on it's fantastic too. Vengeful Apparition.
I was about to say the flavor of this set is
so good. So good.
Let's try to talk about Zen a little bit before we wrap up, since we kind of gushed about everyone else. We finally got to see the weapon, and I think the weapon is good enough. I think all of us thinking about Ninja were worried the weapon had to be good, and I think the weapon is good. 2 costs.
You had to have a reason to play it over Kodachi's.
Yep, and you want to be able to play it over and over again to avoid fatigue, right? So just in case your turns don't line up and you don't get the damage density that you need this weapon that can constantly apply pressure. It's not Kodachi pressure. Nothing is. But I kind of wish Kodachi's didn't even exist. Once per turn action, pay 2, attack, go again. When this attacks, the next Crouching Tiger you play this combat chain gets +1. It doesn't have to hit. It just gives the Crouching Tiger +1, which is great. I think it's the weakest of the 3 weapons, but it's good enough.
I mean, the fact that it gives the Crouching Tiger a consistent +1 is pretty good. Because a lot of times when you're playing the Crouching Tigers, you don't have a way to give it a bonus, to give it that +1 and make it relevant. So I tinkered with the Kirikatsu deck a little bit, a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem that I ran into, is I could make Tigers, but I couldn't give them any buffs, so they were just dead ephemeral cards.
Yep.
This is consistent. That's really cool.
I think all 3 of these decks are gonna be good.
This is peak TCG design.
I think it's gonna be a good set.
I feel like we're missing a card or 2 out of here. That's from the Blitz decks. Because I feel like there was I thought there was a card that was a 1 cost 4 go again, that when you play it, it creates a Crouching Tiger. And the offset was that it cost 1. Or something like that. No, that's Flex Clause. I thought there's 2 cost.
There's a 2 cost that does that, I think.
There's a 0 cost for 3 go again. When this hits, create a Crouching Tiger in your banish zone. You may play it this turn. Then there's Flex Clause, which I think we already had. I think it's a reprint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
1 cost 4 go again. When this hits, create a Crouching Tiger. I thought there was one that just made it unconditionally. It didn't have to hit. I could have swore
there was a 2-drop. A 2 cost red.
There is the 2 cost red that's a finisher that comes in for 7 if your last attack was a.
That's Key Unleashed.
Yeah, Key Unleashed.
That was another one. Wait, now I gotta look it up.
Oh, it's probably because it's a Mystic card. There we go. I think it's a Mystic card. I was down in the Ninja cards. So, yeah, up in the Mystic cards, we have a couple really good ones. I found it. Harmony of the Hunt. When this attacks, if you've pitched a blue card this turn, create a Crouching Tiger in your hand. Go again. It's a 1 for 3 go again. Puts the Crouching Tiger in your hand. There's a multitude of reasons this is fantastic. 1, it doesn't have to hit, so you're getting your Crouching Tiger. 2, it puts it in your hand, so you can target it with Art of War. So you can swing for 3, put the Crouching Tiger into your hand, use one of those resources, Art of War the Crouching Tiger away because you don't care, and then draw some cards and make more Crouching Tigers.
I like that.
Yeah. There's the more expensive Companion of the Claw, which comes in for 4 go again and creates a Crouching Tiger if you pitch to blue. But you know, the ninjas like to do their 1 costs and 0 costs. Very, very few 2 costs. One that I really liked is the non-attack action, the Tiger Form Incantation. The next Crouching Tiger you play this turn gets +3. If you've pitched a blue card this turn, create a Crouching Tiger in your hand. So 1 go again. I like this because it stacks onto 1 attack, right? So this could be like your starter, the first thing you play, and it can hit the Crouching Tiger that you're about to play immediately too. Or you can wait till later in the chain to play Crouching Tiger for more damage. I'm pretty excited for this. Also, limited is looking great. It's looking wacky. I don't even know what to say.
The cloak mechanic is going to be so crazy.
Yeah. I don't even know. I gotta sit and think about these cards to even understand what limit is going to do. I hope the sealed experience and the pre-release gives me a little bit of idea, because we have 2 weeks after the set comes out to figure it out for Nationals.
There's going to be a lot of games being slammed in those 2 weeks, and best of luck to everybody that's playing at Nats, because I couldn't do it.
It's gonna be busy. I think
whoever comes out on top of Nats is going to earn it. That's for sure.
I think that, like, the Atlanta people were kind of talking about like holding over our packs from pre-release to try to get like a jump start on doing like maybe 1 or 2 drafts.
Oh, that's some grindy stuff. I like it though.
I mean, the learning you get from draft, you learn so much every single draft. Like, yeah. Just one extra one.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, especially you gotta grind. You gotta get the reps in.
I think we're
officially going into spoiler season 2.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, we're in it, but like
we're gonna get the Majestics and stuff.
The Majestics.
I was scrolling through Twitter to find that card that we were talking about, and then I saw Fino, who had a picture of Kong Ming, who's from Dynasty Warriors, which is like one of my favorite characters of all time, by the way. I want you to understand this. So like, whatever card he spoils, if it has anything to do with that, I don't care what. I'm fiending for it, man. Like, you got to give me just a little hint.
So
it's Fino. It's going to be an illusionist card.
I will buy you the whole outfit. You can come out and please.
Before we wrap
You're
up,
gonna make me an illusionist player.
I want to talk about the last like significant card that got spoiled, and that's the new Kano card. I think the initial response was a little lackluster, and that's because it's an instant. Kano ability can't hit it. It's not a Kano specialization, so this is going to be in the wizard pool for forever. It's called Kindle. The art is fantastic. It is definitely a really, really well done From Software reference.
Yep.
It's definitely a Dark Souls reference. Amazing. It's so well done. 0 cost red instant. That means it has no attack or defense. Amp 1. The next time you would deal arcane damage this turn, instead deal that much damage +1. This happens before prevention effects. If you have no cards in hand, draw a card. So 1, this makes his like wildfire better if he plays it beforehand. 2, it's a cantrip that helps you go through your deck faster, even if you just waste it, right? If you just waste it as your last card in hand to draw a card, it allows you to get through your deck faster. 3, like, I don't want to spoil the story time on Majin Bay, but if he had Kindle in his hand, he probably still won the game. You can fix bad top decks. If this is the last card in your hand, you stack a bunch of Kanos, you look at the top card and you go, ooh, I can't banish this. It's not a wizard action. You can play Kindle, draw it, and then it become pitch. And you don't lose to the most expensive card in your deck. On the spot.
The damage also. Oh well, yikes! I know what card it
is. Yeah, the Amp 1 is clearly really good on Wildfire, right? If you hit either Wildfire with this Amp 1, it's going to propagate out to 4 or 5 damage. A 0 cost 4 or 5 damage.
Right, because you're getting it before the prevention, which is huge because everybody's holding prevention for you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is well needed for those that are out there like holding it.
Well, have fun playing against Kanos. I don't know if this makes the deck better, but I'm sure Kanos will figure out a way to abuse it.
Not a zap. So
It's not a zap. And the Kano community rejoiced and praised, and there was no longer a gnashing of teeth or a wailing. They said it is not a zap. I bet the foil of this card is going to look amazing.
I need a playmat of it. Like the art looks so good. The hand looks so oh man.
It's like he's crushing that soul to get some of that juice to level up with.
Kudos to that art.
It's really good.
That's peak.
The art in this set just goes so hard.
I'm gonna be broke by the end. I'm gonna be absolutely broke trying to pick these cards up. And if that has anything to do with what I talked about before, I'm gonna be broke. I'm gonna have 3 cold foil shimmers.
Dude,
I'm gonna blame you.
Shadow Realm Horror is gonna be like $30 a card.
Oh yeah, we haven't got to that card yet. That card's gross.
My early playtesting with that card has been pretty ridiculous, especially with Savage Sash.
I don't even understand why they printed that card. That card's silly.
Because I say we, but Levia is not going to have Mandible Claws for much longer. I'm already playtesting decks without Blood Rush Bellow and Mandible Claws.
That's probably a good.
Okay. Went a little over. I think we'll go over next week too, because we're gonna have a ton of. I don't even think we hit even close to the number of cards. There's a bunch of generics we didn't hit.
No, and we'll have the Majestic, so we can go revisit and we can just try and get through. We'll do the thing where we pick our favorites and we'll talk about them. It'll be good. It'll be fun. I'm excited. Spoiler season's great.
Yeah, spoiler alert! I'll be talking about a lot of new cards.
Whoa! Now, and you. I
guess that means that your homework is Enigma. I'll do the Zen homework. He does the new homework.
Wait,
that's actually a good way to break it. Yeah, you get Enigma.
You get Enigma.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be an Enigma player anyway. If I'm serious, might as well.
Okay.
So we need to work on changing our logos.
Yeah.
We got to get that logo changed because I'm not a Katsu player anymore.
My whole life. I promise you. I promise you, there hasn't been a single day.
To be fair, I've been back on Dash.io. I think that character's still incredible. I've been doing some really unfair stuff.
I'll put Azalea aside. That was a good little time.
Not playing Dromai anymore.
No.
I mean, you're just gonna go back to Dory as soon as it's convenient.
100%. Don't even worry about it. Everybody should know by now that I play 5.
All right, buddy, if you say so. We got anything else we want to talk about, or are we ready to wrap it up?
Not this week.
No. We'll save it for next week.
All right. Noah, where can everybody find you?
Big Max Fab on Twitter. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. Twitch.tv/BigMax. Haven't really had time to stream. I promise. It'll be coming around.
Thomas?
Yep, you could find me at Wet the System Fab on Twitter, and anywhere else you see Wet the System. I'm usually in the Card Guys Discord or the League of Levia Discord.
With random appearances in the Cult of New every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, if you have any interest in playing New and talking about New with other like-minded individuals, join the cult. We have cookies. I don't know how I'll get you the cookies. They'll probably be stale by the time they reach you, but we've got cookies. I'll eat a cookie in your honor. How about that?
There you go.
I'll be doing some deck building help in there for probably both Zen and Enigma, or on top of New. So I feel like that could just be a hub for Mistveil characters in general.
Yeah, join the cult. It'll be a good time. Donnie K and Draco Hominis 87 on just about anywhere that you can find me. I write several different article series on fabric.gg. The next one coming out is going to be covering Calling Warsaw. Somehow I'll find time between my classwork and other things I got going on. I'm going to cover Calling Warsaw, and I'm going to cover the world premiere in Tokyo at the end of the month, or later on this month as well. I think that's about it.
You're gonna be like one of those anime characters, but instead of bread running to work, it's just gonna be fab cards. It's just,
dude, I'm grinding, man.
I'm just enjoying it with you. I understand. Trust me. I'm a bit tired.
And I want to put out actual content for New as well, like actual videos and stuff. I'm still trying to work out how to use OBS and do the talking head recordings and everything. I'll get that figured out, and I will get some video content put out at some point. I don't know when that's coming. It's
Hey,
life, man.
Yep.
Life happens.
we got plenty of things to keep going for.
Yeah, and when we meet again, we'll be on the other side of 30 plus spoilers because they happen on
I'll be on the
Saturday,
other side of
Sunday,
the
and
United
Monday.
States.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Man, we are gonna have so much to talk about next week. Next
Oh,
week is
yeah.
just all gonna be all spoilers. I mean, I don't care what else is happening.
I'll actually
All
be
right.
well rested too. It'll be fun.
Sounds good. All right, so thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week, and if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, and remember, we are all siblings in cardboard.
You gotta discard your cards. I've been back here practicing discarding them all the time. Okay,
Yeah, you gotta
Just 'cause
banish them
new
now
set-
too.
Just because it's new
Banish your
set
cards.
doesn't mean you don't do it. I'm like this, man.